square. So now he's scrupulous. So there's a new policy of the society in place. So he doesn't dare to proceed with those marriages against the wish not only of the Novus Ordo bishops but of Bishop Fellé as well. So perhaps he misinterprets the will of Bishop Fellé. Perhaps he doesn't. But right now, what he says in this letter, that he's not proceeding with his marriages without the permission of Pope Francis. And he's asking a Pope who is destroying Catholic marriage for performing marriage against the marriages of the Novus Ordo. He is expecting Francis, who gives communion to divorces, who distributes annulments like candy bars. It is to him that he applies for the permission for marriage. He's not going to get it. He doesn't realize the situation. So this letter, ought to be well known. There is a change. The deal is in place because it's taking place. Why should we care? We told them as early as September, October 2012. We told them as early as that. We don't care about the piece of paper. That you are putting that thing in place by not removing the April 15th declaration, by recognizing the new Code of Canon Law as a whole, not just in its disciplinary aspect, which was still a mistake in 1988, but as a whole. You are creating a deal there. The deal is effectively taking place. They said recently, once we elect a new Superior General, we immediately inform Rome. The Society didn't do that before. Bishop Garaites said 3 years ago in St. Nicholas, as soon as we ordain a priest, we immediately notify the diocese and we notify Rome. That was not a deal in place in the past times. And so one sacrament after the other. And for confession, they say we have now a new form of jurisdiction, ordinary jurisdiction, from Pope Francis. So they are not using Canon 209. So the canonical situation of the Society has changed, clearly. And so elsewhere, at the beginning of his letter, Father René tells we should accept the change, and at the end of the letter he says there was no change. Well, Father René, make up your mind. Has the canonical situation of society changed or not? Can you deny it on confession? Can you deny it on marriage? Can you deny it on ordinations? And now on the election of the Superior General, and on the teaching of canon law itself, can you deny that there is a change? That perhaps, sneakily, when he was prior here in Wanganui, he got the permission of the diocese for his marriage. And we were told that they were putting the names in the registers. That was only in New Zealand. In France, it was never the policy of the Society until past the year 2000. In France, it was never the policy. We never put our marriages into Novus Ordo canonical registers. Precisely because we want to avoid the temptations of the faithful who have a Novus Ordo, a marriage by a Novus Ordo jurisdiction, to be tempted to ask for an annulment. We want to preclude this danger, among other dangers. Like some couples recently in France, they didn't want to have the jurisdiction, but the priest of the Society told them you must submit to the condition of Novus Ordo. So they went and they attended the marriage preparation of Novus Ordo, which was bad. Bad. So you got all kinds of things that surround, this change of jurisdiction in a question of marriages. And then lastly, I don't want to be too long, I'll remind Father René that he's a signatory of the declaration of July the 6th, in which he signs and said, "We ask for nothing better than to be declared out of communion with this adulterous spirit which has been blowing the Church for the last 25 years. And we will always remain faithful to his unique spouse." So, Father René, 30 years ago, was happy to be declared excommunicated from this adulterous counterfeit church. They even use counterfeit church. They have a strict right, the faithful have a strict right to know that the priests who serve them are not in communion with the counterfeit church. And on the list there, There is a signature of Father Lenné. It's number 6. Father François Lenné, District Superior of the United States. So he signed as a District Superior of the United States that he said that there is strict right to know that the priest who serve. So he says, I, Father Lenné, I need to give to my faithful the guarantee that I do not serve in communion with a counterfeit church. Strong words of Father Lenné. And so I urge Father Lenné to come back. He says in his newsletter, come back, No, I urge him, come back, Father Lenné, to yourself. Come back to the pledge that you gave. It's a binding pledge you gave. You gave your signature there. Come back to your anti-modernist oath. Come back to the promises you've made. Even the promise of your baptism. All these promises that you've made. And the anti-modernist oath that you probably have given several times. Come back to it. These are the promises you made. This is the way you were. This is the way we loved you in the past. Come back to this and realize that you have changed. And if you don't want to change, come back to what stands, to what stays for all eternity. The Catholic faith. The one body, the one mystical body of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you very much.